Rah. Yeah, this battle, I'm going to tell you what nobody else told you about it. These are the things that's right in front of the face and you didn't even see it. Some of you may have, most of you didn't. I'm going to tell them to you. I'm going to point out things that other people didn't. I'm going to point out some of the things they did, but some of the things they didn't point out. And the things they didn't point out is the big difference of what happened in this battle. So I'm going to get into it. Dr. Minister Vermont Prince for the Ohm Institute, also known as Primatech Corp. The Metaphysical Recap. DIPSET versus the LOX. Right? This was a ritual. First of all, this whole battle was a ritual. Being played out in front of us and having us be a part of it. It's a ritual. It was, it is, remains to be a ritual. Right? And I'm going to break that down to you, right? Okay, cool. It's a sexual ritual. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not calling anyone homosexual. That's not what I'm into. That's not what I try to promote. I don't just make up ideologies and things like that. Everything I do is scientifically based, okay? Some of the things I'm going to say is going to come across like it could be offensive. I'm asking you guys to please understand what I'm saying. Because I don't want you to take what I'm saying haphazardly and run off and try to start talking about it and promoting the narrative like, oh, these guys are this or these guys are that. Just understand what I'm saying. If you don't, hit me in the comments and I'll respond for sure. If not, the email is arobhollywood, arobhollywwood@gmail.com. You can always hit me there. I'll get back to you, guaranteed. But you can definitely message me here also. And you can message me personally on here outside of the comments. They have a way that you can message people on YouTube from content creator or from platform to platform or whatever. So, it was a sexual ritual. Yes, it was. But it was more than just a sexual ritual. It was the ritual to pay tribute to a certain type of sexuality that they plan to phase out, which is masculinity. That was the plan. DIPSET was actually supposed to win the battle. The way it was set up, they were supposed to win the battle. But life had other ideas. I'm not going to go into depth on certain things because it's just too much information to go into. And like I said, I have limited amount of time. I'm already over the 3-minute mark out of 33 minutes plus. The phone cuts off at 33 minutes plus. It doesn't cut off. It'll just clip the video and it'll go into part 2. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to say a lot of stuff and I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to say it. You're going to use that as your cheat codes to understand everything else I say, right? Cool. There is a real us and there's a real world. There's a real us and a real world. Again, there is a real us and a real world. And a real world. This is not it. This us, this you that's watching this video, this me that's making it, we're only simulations. We are in a simulation. We are data. We're data in a simulation. The things that happen in this simulation are data that's meant to communicate with our data so that we can get the necessary information that we're supposed to have so that we can move a certain way and behave a certain way, and therefore that creates other data, and we send all of that data back to us in the real world. Nowhere in this universe or on this planet is anything real. Everything is a simulation. We are in a simulation. Is data is a part of the simulation, or is data in the simulation? That's what it is. Or it's a virus on the program. Once you understand that, you'll I'm not going to go too much, but I have other videos on here. You can look it up. And I explain to you why things are the way they are. And once you understand the simulation science, you will say, oh, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to get directly into this battle right now after 5 minutes. Some of the things you need to know are numbers, right? Some of the numbers that you're going to look for, the numbers go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And some people put 9. 9 is iffy. It's not really supposed to be in there. I have a video on that. You can go look it up. A lot of people in the comments on that video are like really mad that I said 9 doesn't belong there. And, you know, they're going crazy. But cool. They had a right to do that. I'm not worried about it. Those numbers combine in different ways. Like 012, 102, 210, 120, 201, etc., etc., etc. You know, 506, whatever it is. Numbers combine. The most important of all of those single digit numbers are 3 and 8. Or, pardon me, 1, 3, 8. 1, 3, 8. Now, I want y'all to remember this because this is going to make a difference. When I start showing you in the video, it's going to blow the mind. But once I showed you already that these are the numbers, you're going to be like, wow. And I have other videos from years ago where I said this. So it's not like I just made this up because this happened and it fits the narrative. If I said this years ago and the battle just happened, I can't be making this up. I didn't make them do what they did in the battle. How does it add up mathematically with what I'm about to show you? Okay, then we have double numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, all the way to 99. Then we have triple numbers, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, all the way to 999, so forth and so on, right? 13 is the number. Out of every number, that's the number. The reverse of that is 31. When I say the number, I mean, if you had to ever pick one number, I would tell you to pick the 13. That's the number. That 13 is actually the code to the universe. It's actually the secret code to the universe. Not going to go into that. Then there's 12. Reverse of that is 21. That's very powerful as well. Not going to go into that right now. Okay. You have 28, which adds up to 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. 36 or 9. 19. 19 breaks down. 1 plus 9 is 10. So forth and so on. 10 is very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. If truthfully speaking, 10 is actually pretty much more powerful than 13 by default. But I'm going to go into this anyway. I'm going to go into this very, very quickly because I'm already after 7 minutes in. If I start talking fast, pardon me, I'm just trying to get through a lot of stuff. All right, the battle starts and several things happen. First of all, Cameron comes out late. I'm going to address that. There's everything we do, from the way we eat to what we have for breakfast. Everything is a code. Everything happens for it's a reason why you crave this or you crave that, but you only have this. The universe or the matrix, the simulation that we are in, everything is a message. Nothing happens that doesn't have a metaphysical code to it. And when you start putting the random codes, like I had this for breakfast, I wore this, I put that over here, you know, the toothpaste cap fell like this and it did like that. When you start putting the things together, you will see, but you have to be good at doing codes, right? Like, for instance, if you're wearing a hat and the wind blows it off, it was your cap. You had a cap, it blew it off. And today you was, you know, the toothpaste cap fell out your hand and went down the drain and you had to struggle to get it out. Stuff, you say that's two things with a cap. They want you to know something about a cap. There may be something happens with your hubcap on your car. The universe is talking to you about caps in different ways. And it's telling you that. Maybe you go to work and the keyboard, your keyboard is cap locks is on and can't come off or whatever. You have to be able to look and see the codes. Sometimes they're not as obvious as what I just showed you. Sometimes you have to be very clever to see it. It's a big, gigantic puzzle. All right, 9 minutes in. Over 9, I'm going in. So, Jadakiss sets the tone. First of all, Cam set the tone, correction, by coming out late. That set the tone. because people didn't really like. They was anxious to get to it, and Cam did the diva stuff. It took forever to come out. That's what's the problem. You already rubbed the crowd the wrong way doing that. And when you come out late like that, you better do some amazing stuff that made it worth waiting for you. Fat Joe on the live said that Cameron was actually going to leave. That's what he said. He said something happened. He was gonna leave. Then he also mentioned that Joel Santana's wife had a problem. The wife of Joel Santana had a problem getting in. So that was already two things that was against the DIPSET. The next thing is, when Cameron came out, the DIPSET, when they came out, he came out on his own, you know, being extra because he's the star of the DIPSET. So I guess he didn't want to come out with them making it look like they're even or whatever, equal or whatever. But what I'm saying is this. They all came out and they didn't look like DIPSET. Jim Jones is like the closest person to looking like DIPSET. When you looked at the LOX with the sneakers and the tracksuit and the Timbs and the cargo shorts with the chains on and stuff, they look like classic LOX. Their image, they look like what they were rapping about. Everybody knows DIPSET is about swag. Cam didn't come out with the pink. He was supposed to come out with the pink. I'll come back to the pink if I remember. It's very important too. Joel's is known for the red, the whole blood thing. Jim Jones is known for the red, the blood thing. So why would, and he do the vampire life, so why would he come out with all the skulls and stuff like that? It was a nostalgic place. It's not like you rapping to a bunch of 20-year-olds or whatever. The 98% of the people that was in that audience, I'm sure, was over 30 years old, probably over 35 years old. They grew up on these two groups. So they automatically are going to get transported back to that time. So you coming out with the skull, they know that, oh, he outdated, they're going to like, yo, that was classic Jimmy with the thing with the chain and this and that, and he had the look, and you know, you have to play your part. Even though you evolve for the rest of the world, that's like when Ghostface and Raekwon did it. Ghost when he got the Wallabies. You have to play to your strength. They didn't do that. Remember, I'm not sitting here telling you how they could have won. I'm telling you all the things that went wrong that made them lose. And no matter what, it's not no matter what. Things happened that made them lose. Something happened that made Cam want to leave. Something happened that made Joel Santana's wife have a hard time getting in. She could have came with him or came with whoever. And she, nobody else's wife seemed to have a hard time getting in. Or nobody else people seemed to have a real hard time getting in. She should have had a certain type of passes or whatever that she should have been able to just cruise on through. So that's telling me right there that it was definitely something going on. Metaphysics. There's metaphysics to this, people. All right, I'm going to get more into a lot of stuff, okay? The ritual, what's going on in the world right now, besides, the C-19, this whole virus, the variants, and, jabs, and, get the V, the shot and all that, the hot shot and all that. The world changed, the world reset in 2020. Basically, the world literally ended in 2020 and restarted. It was a factory reset on the world. A certain amount of people, the powers that be, have intentions on getting rid of a certain amount of people on this planet. And like they say, I'm not pushing the Bible. That's not really, I'm not into that or whatever. But I do know the Bible. I am a minister. Even though I don't follow that particular strain of thought, I did go to seminary school, and I do have a degree to know that. It said, and I saw a new earth and a new heaven and a new earth. It's going to be a new earth, and it's going to involve a lot of people not being on here. This is why the virus even popped up. It's time to have a certain amount of people eliminated. In order to eliminate people, you need to eliminate. They want to eliminate. The people need to be eliminated so that certain ideologies can flourish. They can't flourish because there's too many people, and too many people have too many mixed ideologies. They need people to think in one way, or mostly one way. They need people that are going to adapt to the now. A lot of people are not going to do that. A lot of people are stuck in time warps. This kind of happened with the DIPSET. What I just said, they didn't do their classic thing. They came with the new era, the new way of dressing, with the track suits and stuff like that. Cam is not known for. He known to be extra flashy with the pink fur and the purple mink and all that. Like, that's what he was supposed to do. So, pardon me. That's what I was saying. I'm saying that the DIPSET didn't do the nostalgic move. DIPSET represents the system. The system, those... See, there's too much stuff I have to explain, and I'm already 15 minutes in, almost halfway there. This simulation that we are in has a virus in it. The virus manifests itself as a system. The system is what people call the powers that be, you know, the man, you know, the elite. Some people say the Illuminati. People say whoever's behind the scenes controlling everything that is really don't care about the masses. They just using us as puppets for our energy, using us as an energy source. That is the system. No, the system is the structure that they have created to be able to do this. They're not the system. They're the ones who made the system. They're the ones who produced the system. They're the virus. The virus, in turn, produces the infection. They produce the infection. The system is the infection. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So the LOX represents primal nature. Human beings being able to get back to being human and doing human stuff in a human way. Getting the maximum results that we are meant to get from life. We are not getting all the top results because we're not doing things the way humans are supposed to do them. So this ritual that those powers that be, they put this together. These people didn't get rent out Madison Square Garden. The powers that be allowed it to happen. Timberland and Swiss might have said it, but they don't get to say who goes to the garden or not. The powers that be at the very top said this is good for a ritual. It was done on August 3rd. August is the 8th month, on the 3rd in 2020, right? Think about it. I just told you 11, 22, and 33 are master numbers. 8 plus 3 is 11. That's already 11. Then you have the 2020. When you take the zeros out, you have 2, which is 22. So you have 11 and 22. You add that up, that's 33. Remember, I told you it's going to start happening. This is all a ritual. It was already a ritual. You just got to know how to do the math. All right. They were supposed to come out, the DIPSET. I'm not telling you what they should have. I'm talking about the way the powers that be. I'm not talking about, nobody took the DIPSET in the room and say, do it like this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the same way the universe, I don't like to use concepts that I don't agree with and some other people probably don't agree with, so I'm just trying to make it a little bit clear. The universe has a design, just like your phone. You can't make your phone do what it doesn't do. It only does what it does. But you are the programmer of your phone, so you can make, if you send a text message, even if your phone's working, it's going to go through. If their phone's working, they're going to receive it. If your phone has a virus, it might disrupt your message. I'm saying the powers that be are like hackers. They put virus in the phone to disrupt messages. We are constantly being sent messages by the matrix, by ourselves in this, outside of this matrix. They're using the program we're in to send us messages. And the messages they're sending us is telling us what to do and how to do it, and so forth and so on. And it's telling us how to be the best us as humans. Not how to be nice and help the old lady across the street. That's cool. I'm talking about how to do what you really came here to do. What you really came here to do is decode life and learn. Not, oh, that life is about family and friends. That's not what life is about. That's something that we learn to adapt to. And, life is about decoding it and figuring it out. So that we can, life is about surviving and thriving. It's about survival, thrival. That's what it's really about. And we in the real world are trying to survive. So this simulation is a simulation of the real world. So what we're trying to use in this simulation is to figure out what went wrong. in the real world. This is just, we're just living out what already has happened in the real world and trying to figure it out so that they can try to adjust it over there. That's all they're doing. So anyway, let me get to this because time is running out. 20 minutes in. They came too long to come out. Didn't dress nostalgically. Then on top of that, pulls out the beach chair, wants to sit down and act like it's a game. This is the cockiness of the system. Think of the system as the powers that be that's against humanity. Think of that. Like some people might say the devil. Some people might just say, you know, the Illuminati. Some people might say whatever you might think it is. Like the, you know, the system. Like, yo, you know, people forcing me to pay taxes. You know, whoever's forcing you to pay taxes, who's above them? And I'm talking about human beings. Who's above them and who's above them? When you get to the people that's at the very top, that's who we talking about. When I'm talking about the system. I'm calling it the system, but they're not the system. The system is the structure that they've put in place to oppress humanity. That's what I'm talking about. The LOX represents us, the world, the humans that want to be human. DIPSET represents the powers that be that's trying to stop us from being human. They were supposed to win because they're the one that put this battle together as to do a ritual. But it didn't work out that way. This is why this battle is such a big battle. Because the other battles have been real interesting and you know, different things. People are making a really big deal out of this battle. And they don't even know why. The reason they're making a big deal about it because it was a ritual and it affected them. And we are celebrating that we won. We, the people, are celebrating that we won against the system. We don't even know that's what we're celebrating. But that's why everybody, oh, this battle was different. It felt like, of course it's going to feel like that. You're talking about the fate of humanity. Humanity they just did a ritual and humanity just beat them. Just beat the people that's trying to kill you. That's trying to enslave you. That's trying to put you in certain boxes and categories and classes. So, Nick, what's this guy named? Jadakiss comes out. I mean, it was Jadakiss against Jadakiss against Cam. Cam and Jadakiss. Jim Jones against Styles P. Joel Santana against Sheik Luch. That's the way it was lined up, whether you peep that or not. Jadakiss immediately made the battle about bars. First, let me say Styles started off first. First thing he said, yo, look at these dudes. They look soft. He said, they're pussy. Everybody said, what? He said, he called them what? Remember, this is a sex ritual. They're soft. When you're not erect, you're soft. He was like, we the hardest. Hard, erection. They're soft, we're erect. A vagina's not supposed to be erect. It's supposed to be soft. They're supposed to be hard. They're the penis. It's the feminine versus the masculine. There's many rituals going on here. The real ritual that they was doing is trying to make, because they've been trying to destroy masculinity for a long time with the Me Too, Time's Up, this, that, all these different things, you know, different things they've been promoting. This was supposed to be the ritual that really ended masculinity to the point where there's really no masculine men left, but it didn't work. It backfired. So that's what Styles started off with. Remember, Styles got a bald head, like the head of a penis. It's bald, it's round. I'm not calling him, you know, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm using metaphysics. I apologize if it sounds disrespectful if people hear this or whatever. It's not what I'm doing. What I'm really doing is trying to show y'all metaphysics. I'm showing y'all it's deep. Like you got to look at things. We're being used as tools to send a message. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing else about that. I'm not saying the DIPSET of females and they guys are men. I'm not talking about that. I'm not even talking about those. They're not even people to me. They're ideas. So I'm not, the DIPSET is an idea. LOX is an idea. I don't even see them as people. I see them as an idea being conveyed. Okay. So the LOX represents, the DIPSET represents the system or falsehood, illusion, basically swag. That's all swag is. Swag is an image that makes you seem like you're more than what you are. While the LOX represents primal, basically the truth or substance, that which really is what it is. Right? Then we have hip hop, This was a hip hop battle. HH, hip hop, HH. That's H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So HH is 88. But I added another letter to it a long time ago, like about 4 or 5 years ago, called HUP. Hip hop HUP, HUP. And that makes it 888. All right. So Jadakiss made the battles about bars, which goes into because they bars are hard. That's what they always say. We got hard bars. We got hard, but basically bar is a long instrument, a long, hard, solid instrument, which is the same as a penis, an erect penis. That's what the battle was. It was basically the feminine against the masculine. Also, it was about primal and getting back to humanity and being human. Because that's a lot of what the problem is. When you're dealing with the feminine masculine situation, the problem is men can't be men because women have been trained to the point where everything that a man does that's manly is offensive. You look at them with a lust. You don't got to say anything. You don't got to lick the lips or nothing. You just look. They could be across the street and they turn, they see you looking. Oh my God, you're a creep. Why are you a creep for being a man? You're a man. You have a wonderful physique. I'm going to look at you. Like, I'm not sitting there licking the lips and staring you down. I'm just looking in your direction. You wasn't even looking at me. When you looked, I looked away. That's it. I'm a creep now. You know, my thing is, I don't need to come home. Maybe I'm married. Maybe I don't want, you know, whatever. I just want to admire you. That's like saying you shouldn't look at the sunset or the sunrise because it's disrespectful. That's the narrative that things like that is making men not be able to be men. Men can't approach a woman and flirt because he has to worry about sexual harassment and stuff. I'm not talking about actual sexual. I'm talking about things that are not really sexual harassment, not really anything wrong with it. We've just been trained to be that it's wrong. And now we can't be who we are. Okay. Cam sits down in a chair, which kind of like is leisurely, and it kind of like, basically metaphorically speaking, he sat out. He didn't have a leg to stand on. Sit. He not standing, so you don't have a leg to stand on, but the legs, you know, are not being stood on. Boom. The beach chair, BC, ancient times, you know, BC, a time or period of era. Cam, that's what everybody calls him. It's short. It's like camera. When you think of a cam, you also think like, yo, I'm trying to get on cam. Boom, camera, cam spotlight. And also represents Big Brother watching. Remember, DIPSET represents the feminine principle, and they also represents the system. That virus, not them personally, but what they represent in the ritual, is really about us being attacked or watched or under surveillance. Your phone watching you, the cameras on the street watching you, the cars watching you, your car got computers in it, everything. They can track you, they can do anything. It's ridiculous. But that's what's going on right now, right? Okay, cool. Then Cam came out late. That means two things. If you listen to the science, came out late. First, you got came out. Came out is a term when people are homosexual and nobody knows, and then they tell people. That's what coming out means. Coming out or came out also refers to ejaculation. Remember, hard bars, soft, hard is sex. Then late refers to not having a period. Like if I'm late on my period, I'm late, my period is late, means that you might be pregnant. And if you're pregnant, that means there's coming of a new life. Remember, I see a new heaven and a new earth. I said earlier, late also represents death. Like the late so-and-so, the late Notorious B.I.G., the late Tupac. By the way, the Tupac Biggie beef with the same ritual. It was the feminine masculine. The Drake Pusha T beef with the same ritual. The Drake and Meek Mills was the same ritual. They've been doing the same ritual over and over because they've been trying to really enforce it. So Jada freestyled flawlessly. Cam, when he tried to freestyle, he messed up. He stumbled and he stopped. You see the contrast? Opposites, that's sexuality. Whenever you see opposites, that's sexuality. Jadakiss controlled the narrative. He kept saying things. He brainwashed the crowd, basically. He told them, listen. He didn't brainwash the crowd. Actually, what he did was told them the truth. He said, this is real rap. Don't cheat the fans. They can sit in your car and listen to your songs. Take the lyrics out, play the beat, and rap to your song. Rap to the instrumentals. so they can really hear and get the feel of it. So basically, DIPSET was lip syncing. Lip syncing represents, you know, synthetic, illusion, gimmicks, while LOX was doing a live performance, which represents like natural reality skills and stuff like that. So it was a contrast right there. That set a big part of the tone, whether they know or not. Like that, what he really said is, let's get back to the basics and see what's real and what's not. Let's look at things for what's real and what's not. And if you do that in the real world, if you look at being human and you look at certain things, you be like, that's not normal. For humans are animals. We really are not supposed to do that, because no animals do that. That doesn't make sense as an animal to do that. If we start really looking at stuff like that, we'll realize a lot of the creature conference we have, we should give it up. Okay, LOX is 3 letters. They have a song, they did a song from Clue called Chest to Chest or Back to Back. That's 3 letters, chest to chest, back to back. 3. It's going into that 3 I was telling you about. It's very, very, very powerful. Remember, August 3rd, 3? You're going to see a lot of 13s, a lot of 113s, a lot of 133, stuff like that. The DIPSET is all about, you know, swag and sexual appeal and stuff like that. That was always the science behind the DIPSET. So, and I'm not talking about, in reality, that's what they represent. I mean, that's what they do. But in the metaphysical sense, what they do is they represent Tatiana or flowing sexual energy. What they represent is the system taking it from us, because that's what the system do. Everything that the system does when they oppress us and put us through certain shit, the reason they do that is so that they can extort us out of our sexual energy. Basically, they make us don't like sex, or they make us shy away from sex, or they make us uncomfortable with sex, and so that we can't express, because when you express it, it flows freely between you and whoever. I don't mean having sex. You just having certain living your life, being comfortable, walking down the street, wearing certain clothes that's revealing, or being nude or whatever. When you live with free sexuality, it flows between you and the other people that have free sexuality. That's your life force energy. We are meant to exchange that energy naturally, without even trying, without even thinking about it. But they make us oppress it, and they contain it, and they distract us from it. And they make all these rules like you have to wear clothes, you have to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not supposed to do this, not supposed to do that. And they make us harness our energy. And by harnessing the energy, they can extort us from that energy. And they can take it for themselves. By extort, I mean they take it for themselves. This is almost at 33 right now, so it's going to end up being another video where I'm going to have to break it down. But in the next video, I'm going to just do a real run-through recap on everything. Though I don't really know how far it's going to go, but I'm going to suggest people watch this one first so they can have an idea. So when I run through the second one, because the second one's going to be a lot shorter, being that I'll have to explain stuff. And I'll be able to, you know, just run through certain things. All right, cool.